What's up, y'all? Long time no see. I'm back with another video. And I wanted to talk about a topic that I've been talking about in like rap conversations my entire life, but something that recently came up in conversation indirectly on a Joe Budden podcast. And on a Joe Budden podcast, they talked about uh, will Young Thug be able to have another run like he did before he went to jail. And it was a mixed bag. Some people said yes, some people said no. Some people said Thug's creativity is going to basically just allow him to break through and get that hit again. But me personally, I don't think so. And the reason I don't think Young Thug is going to be able to have another hit again, it's not because Thug isn't popular anymore, not because Thug just doesn't have it anymore. It's something that I always said about rap um, in general. And I always said rap is two things. Rap is a young man's game. And rap is that one genre where unless you are extremely, extremely talented on the Drake, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole level, once you step out the limelight for a stretch of time, a year, 2 years, it's hard to bounce back. To me, rap changes way too frequently to stay out of the game for a long time and just bounce back like nothing ever happened. Especially now in 2026, where you just have so much access to music. I remember talking to my nephew about this. My nephew's 18 now, but I always asked him, I'm like, growing up, like I'm 33 years old. Growing up, we always understood like who came before people we listened to, who came in the 90s, who came in the 80s, who paved the way. And this generation of music listeners, they don't have that same thought. They don't know who um, KRS-One is. They don't know who Big Daddy Kane is, Easy E, et cetera, et cetera. They don't know who Bone Thugs and Harmony is. And that's simply because they have access to so much music. They have access to any type of genre, any type of region of music, whether it's rap, pop, whatever, at their disposal that they don't need to listen to what used to be. They don't need to listen to what was hot a year ago, 2 years ago. Like it moves too fast because they have too many options. But even before then, like when somebody in the 80s was out, right? Like Big Daddy Kane and things like that, Rakim, you know, when they had their run in the 80s to very early 90s, but as rap started to change and rap started to hit that mainstream level, you started to pay attention to the Biggies, started to pay attention to the Tupac, you started to pay attention to the Ice Cubes, things like that. And Big Daddy Kane and Rakim, while still respected, weren't the main attraction. So rap has always gone with the youth, what the youth want, the youth's voice. The youth always drove what was hot with rap. Like that's something that has always existed. So when you look at what Young Thug is dealing with when it comes to rap already always being a young man's game and you always having to be in the limelight, mixed with the access that the youth have to just different genres of music, and seeing that Young Thug, while very popular, isn't the most talented in the game to withstand the changing times of rap, it's going to be extremely hard for him to even sniff the success that he's had. Because you look at like Drake, say what you want about Drake. Like, I have my opinions on Drake, things like that. The man has withstood the test of time. The man has been in the game going on 20 years. That is a long, long time in rap years. In rap years, you might as well say he's been rapping for 50 years. Same with Kendrick. Same with Cole. You know, to an extent, like, these rappers have the talent to withstand the test of time because they grow with their music. They have a sound that just transcends time. They don't rap necessarily based off trend. They rap based off of what works for them, their ear, and the talent around them that helps cultivate all of that. A lot of rappers don't do that, and Young Thug falls in that category. I feel like if Young Thug was going to really have some success or have another run, that album that he came out with, I think it was called Sketty, where he put himself in whiteface essentially, it would have had way more success than what it had because that was an album that came out right when he was released, really. His buzz was still hot, but what he put on the track just wasn't it. Because what happens is when you don't have the true talent, you do what Young Thug does. He goes off of shock value. He goes off of just creating that awe moment, right? When Young Thug had first came out, he wanted to name himself the Carter Six. We all know who had the Carter name. Change it to the Barter Six. His album cover. He was basically naked on his album cover. He would dress up in tight clothing, women clothing. He would call other men bae. He would paint his nails. He on a Jeffrey album, he was in a dress. Now, come to find out, he was just doing that because it would get people talking. But all that stuff has an expiration date. And eventually that type of stuff wears out its welcome. Eventually, you have to rely on some sort of talent in order to keep that success sustained. He has had the wave. He knew how to line himself up with who was hot, what is hot. But when you take that 2-year break in rap, like I said, that moves so fast, you get out of touch. People move on, and that young generation that has access to all these different genres of rap, subgenres of rap, these different artists from different regions, they find the next person to fill that void. If you don't even want to talk about Young Thug, look at Bobby Shmurda. Bobby Shmurda, when he came out with Hot Nigga, hottest song going, you could not go anywhere without hearing that song. He got locked up. Did 7 years? When he got released, people just knew that Bobby Shmurda was about to just blow. Undeniable wave. He came and went. Like, he's more known for his dancing in videos than just music. And even he just released a freestyle recently. And that's just not it. Because he doesn't have that talent to transcend time. You have your exceptions. You have your clips. But that's more so the exception and not the rule. But Pusha T and Malice are talented. But they also are the type of rappers to where their style just has no real time constraints. What they rap about and how they rap it can be attributed to different eras, and it has. Pusha T's been rapping about cocaine for decades. I've never seen a man so creative to talk about the same subject. He talks about the same subject in different ways, but it works because he's talented enough to make it work. But that is a rarity. So, in closing, I feel that while Thug will still see some success, I don't think he will see the success that he had before he went to jail. Let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think Thug can have another run again? Do you think rap is a young man's game? Or do you think I'm tripping? To me, history says I'm right, but just let me know what you think. All right. Holla at y'all. Peace.